Hey everyone, welcome to the February installment of the Monthly Art Journal. I had some issues with my audio on this portion of the recording, so I'm not going to have it much going on audio-wise. We're just going to let you kind of watch what I'm doing and go from there. Basically, we're making a shape, or we're making a girl, and we're going to have about just above waist up. So you're going to have her shoulders and her upper body in the painting, in the drawing. So I'm going to let you just sit back and watch what we do here. And as always, make it your style. Just use this as a guide and have fun. Hey everyone, so we're back and we're going to work some more on the girl. I realized my lighting was not that great on the last video clips we had. I forgot to set up my light. I'm in a new space and still trying to figure out how to work this all out. So I just want to say thank you for bearing with me as I'm learning what works and what doesn't in this space. And you may hear a few dogs barking. I have some dogs now in where I am, and they like to share their voice. So let's get started. Got the background going. I got some basic coloring on the girl and her hair. Just kind of started. I want to get it, it's looking a little flat, so I want to add a little more to it. I mean, honestly, we could go with it as it is if you wanted to. I just want to add a little bit more to it and just play. So that's what we're going to do today. And let me see what colors I have here. I want to go a little darker with her hair. We got a little bit of red, kind of a reddish color in there right now. I think that one I used this. And this new color is cinnamon. Get where I can speak it. I think we could go, this one is Van Dyke Brown. This would be a nice little color to use. And then in the really dark sections that are going to be here, I think we might add a little bit of Toledo Brown. Well, let's start with the Van Dyke. Let's see what comes out of it. I'm going to just put a paper towel right here. I'm not sure what I did with my wax paper. Like I said, I've moved recently, so everything's all askew, and I'm still trying to find some of my supplies. It's like, you pack them up and you think you know what you're doing when you pack them, but then when it comes time to pull out what you need, you can't find it. That's me. So we're just gonna add, oh, that's a little darker than I thought. That's okay. We're just gonna fill it in and come over here, fill this section in. And our hair is really coming over here, so just gonna have a tiny section here that's in the dark color. Oh, I didn't need much of that. Probably could have thinned it out a little bit, but that's okay. We just kind of go with it. All right. I don't want to do too much right around here since this is still wet, so let's go ahead and work on her shirt some more. I like having it kind of a pale pink, but there's just, like I said, it's a little flat. I think maybe we'll add a little bit of purple violet to it. And I'm going to try to go as lightly as I can with it. Just take a couple. Yeah, just a couple. Oops. I say yes, but now I'm looking at it, kind of blends into the background. You know what? We're just going to put like a little bit of shadowing in here on the edge there. We'll try that over on the other side. You know what? We're just playing. That's what it's about. And for me, this theme, the theme this month was about self-care. And that's somewhat what this is. Taking time to create, especially with this last few weeks. I've been just busy with moving, getting settled, finding a new routine. So, see it there, it's still a little wet. I think we're just going to cover this whole thing in this purple because it didn't quite turn out how I wanted it to a minute ago. So we're just going to cover it over. We're going to put several layers on. But yeah, self-care to me is, one thing for self-care is making time for creativity. Until I started working on this girl, I really hadn't done any art since last month. I mean, it'd been pretty much a month, 30 days or longer since I had done any. And that makes my heart sad because I actually love doing this. You know, and I create, the most part, I create for me, what feels good for me. It's not always the best creations, but it's just what I'm feeling in the moment. And that's all I ask, is for you guys to do just what you're feeling in the moment. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to match what I'm doing. It's just what you're feeling. Oh, there's one of the doggos barking away. Probably want me to go out there and say, hey, what are you guys doing? I'm not going to, though. Ooh, get a little bit more water here. All right. I've got several browns here. Kind of like the little stripiness looking. So let's see. Let's see how this. This one's a little more on the red side. I'm going to do here, though. You can see I'm just kind of outlining. Giving her kind of a tousled hair. Not perfect. Got some strays coming out. Then I'm going to go over it with another. So, and I want it a little darker here. Not quite that dark though. So now we'll take the water. Yep, she's got roots. Roots? Do you say roots or roots? I usually say roots, but that time it sounded more like roots. Some more water on that. I don't have a whole lot of space on my desk, so normally I would turn my book around, but here I'm just going to have to move my hand in a different direction instead. Oops. All right, putting some low lights in there. Actually, with her tousled hair, she kind of looks like she needs to take a break for herself, doesn't she? Don't think I want to go much darker. Let's see what this color looks like. Oh yeah, it's more light. You're probably thinking, man, it's a lot of hair streaks there. It is. We're going to blend it in a minute though. Just get a little water going on here and just squeeze it out. There we go. I'm just going to do this lightly because I still want a lot of those streaks to show through. And I know what you're thinking. It's like, this is so dark here. There's no little streakiness at all in here. Well, we'll take care of that in a minute. Actually, what I'm doing right now is kind of lightening it up. Just a tad. All right. We will let that dry a minute. Oops, she's not quite dry there, so like that. Yeah. She kind of looks like she just got up in the morning. All right, so I'm going to give her a little bit more color to her skin. Her skin just looks very flat. That's the word. That's the only word I can think of right now. She's a little flat looking. And the other day, I added a little. I think I added beige to her. She definitely doesn't need light gray. I don't want her sick looking. Maybe I'll add a little more beige. Actually, you know what? No, we're not going to add beige. These are better skin tones. So I think Let's add a little lemonade to her. I'm gonna really kind of thin it out. So I don't want to like overpower. Okay, so now I'm underpowering. Put a little bit more in there. It's kind of a fine line, figuring out what colors, you know, how you want them to come in and blend. So I'm going to ask you this question. As I was drawing this girl, I realized to me, I was wanting her to look perfect. However, she's actually looking like how I felt recently. It's like I'm putting out, trying to, you can see here, she's trying to look great. She's doing her best effort. It's just her energy's not there. That's why it's so important to take moments of self-care. And it's going to change from day to day as to what your self-care looks like. Some days for me, it's a matter of just, I don't know if you can, I don't think you can see the little face here, but spending a few minutes with these dogs that I now live with. I got 4 fur babies. And sometimes it's just a matter of sitting outside and enjoying their presence and the energy they give off, the happiness, the joy, the being present, the being grounded. Sometimes it's a matter of being able to say no, that you're not going to do this, or saying yes, that, yeah, I'm ready, I'm going to do it. It may scare the shit out of me, but I'm going to do it. I've been doing that lately. It's really just take time to sit and notice really what is it that you need, not just your physical needs. What do you need emotionally? What are you needing mentally? What are you needing spiritually, energetically? Take time. So I'm really liking this. Even though it's far from perfect, it's very rough looking. I'm going to do a few other things to her, like, you gotta see what these 2 colors are. Oh, excuse me. Hopefully you didn't hear that burp, but maybe you did. Oh, there's the name. So I have salmon pink, or salmon. I think really what I want to do is take a little bit of salmon, and this time I'm just going to kind of color it in. Just right there. I was trying to lighten it up, but you know, maybe I will take a little bit of light gray or beige. I think we're going to take the beige. Actually, no. I'm going to take my flesh. Put a little bit of flesh. And here's the thing that I noticed with this girl. Normally I try to leave like a section on the throat, you know, where the light's shining. This is much larger than I anticipated. And this particular girl, well, almost all of my creations are a reflection of me in one way or another. And what I see in this one is my throat chakra. That there's still some work that needs to be done there. All right. So we need to dry this, and then I'm going to do I have a quote I want to put on this side, and I'm going to have to look it up because I didn't write it down. This paper likes to, in this journal, it likes to pill up. I prefer my paper a little smoother, but I'm just going to have to learn to live with it. So what I want to do is come in here. You notice it's like once you add in these pieces, it helps it start coming together. Helps it to pop. I think I'm going to add a pink in. Start with pink. I think that's going to be too much pink, so I'm probably going to have to go around it with black. I'm not going to worry if these are a little thicker lines in places. not really red. I'm going to outline these hearts in red. So I'm going to cover them over in red. That's the joy of this, is that you can change it when you want. If you decide you don't like the way you did it the first one, just paint over it. And since these are buttons, you need buttonholes. Or, you know what I mean, yeah. Those are buttonholes. Yeah, I'm not liking the pink here, so I think I'm going to go kind of outline the pink with black. If you notice, I'm doing it more kind of a sketchy, which just gives a little different character to it. I like that. If you want yours to be more perfect, you can just do like one solid, or do the best you can to have it look like one solid line. I'm going to do the sketchy. Now, young lady, you don't need to get into my crystals. I have a dog jumping up, looking over on my bookcase, trying to get into my crystals. Yeah, this gives it a better definition, as you can see. Sometimes if you keep it all kind of monochromatic, it can work, but that's not what it's not working for what I was looking for. Okay. Oh yeah, do it right here too. And it just makes it pop a little better. It gives it a little bit of shadowing too. So I think we're going to do that too with her. We're going to outline her hair. And especially with the hair, that's really good to do kind of more like little strokes. Because, you know, hair isn't always perfect. These are just real light scratches in here. roots in. Oh. All right. These, everything else is outlined in black. These do too. These need it too. All right, now I have to find my quote. Brene Brown. I don't think I wrote it on. Oh, I did it. I forgot I did write it down, so good. I don't have to look very far. So, let me set that up. This was my prototype that I originally started, and I got interrupted, and I never got to finish it. But it's a Brene Brown quote we want to use. I'm wanting to use, and it's that process is the bravest thing that we'll ever do. Owning, oh, I started in the middle of it. The saying is, the quote is, owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing that we'll ever do. Brene Brown. I had that in a heart, as you can see here. I'm not going to do it that way this time. Let me just set this up so I can see it. But I think we're just going to write it out. Well, I guess that's the process. I don't think I'm going to use this pen anymore. Owning. But I am going to use this ink. Okay, sometimes your pens will burp like that and just throw out all sorts of ink that you're not prepared for. Just go with it. And in my case, figure out a way to use it. But how perfect. for what we're doing. It's just a great reminder that sometimes things don't turn out quite the way we expected them to, but we can still work with it. All right. And we are story. And loving ourselves. Through okay. You know what? The owning, we had to do big like that. I'm going to do that also with bravest because we're owning it and we're being brave. You can you can decorate your letters however you want. If you want to highlight some of them, I did mine all in black. You could choose other colors. It's kind of a heart there, that bee, isn't it? I didn't even think about it when I created it. Some of you might wonder, why don't I do different kind of lettering? Because a lot of people do lettering and they do all this gorgeous looking lettering, and I'll be honest. Well, I'm always honest. I don't know why I say I'll be honest, but I don't feel like I'm that great at the lettering, so I kind of stick to what I know. And it's only because I haven't practiced doing other kinds. So maybe that's something I could do for myself also, is to learn other ways to do letters. How are you guys with your hand? Do you like your handwriting? I'll be honest, I've never really. There I go again. I wonder why I keep using that phrase. I'll be honest. I'm gonna have to sit with that for a bit, but I've never really liked my handwriting. Some days I look at it and I think, oh, that looks really good. Other days it's like, oh, that's horrible. How can anyone even read it? But they can. And I guess all that really matters is if I can. Now, there are times when I can't. And it's pretty sad when you're trying to read something you wrote to somebody else, especially if you just wrote it. And you're like, I don't know what this says. Oh, what I did not do is leave space for my, see here we did January 21, 2021. Look at that. I forgot to outline my little thingies. I'm going to do that real quick. Then we had word for 2021. I think I'm going to just put it really small over here. But do we want pink or red? I think we're going to do, no, we're just going to do it in the black. I always wanted to learn how to do calligraphy. Nothing's stopping me from learning now, except for me. February. I'm not good at spelling either, so sometimes I have to sound them out. February was always a tricky one. Do you remember in school when we had to learn how to spell February, not February?